Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. My name is Kelsey, aka the Empress, and we are back with another pick card reading. And today we are looking at messages from our inner child. So what does our inner child want us to know? What does our inner child want to talk about with us today? And out in front of you, we have three different piles, three different options to choose from. And I'm going to ask you guys to take a deep breath, really ground yourself, connect to your intuition, connect to your guides, really tune into the energy of this reading. Even by hitting the like button or commenting a heart emoji or anything down below just to kind of reciprocate energy. You don't have to whatsoever, so I don't want to make anybody feel obligated to do that, but it is just a suggestion. But out in front of you we have three different piles to choose from, and here we have pile number 1 with the yellow aventurine, we have pile number 2 with the clear quartz, and pile number 3 with the rainbow fluorite. So go ahead, really feel out which pile is calling to you, and I will have the timestamps to the beginning of each reading in the description box below, as well as in the pinned comment. So go ahead, pause the video if you need a moment to choose or to meditate, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to pile number 1. Hello, my beautiful group number 1, those of you that chose the yellow aventurine here. And card number 1 with the 3 of Wands, this reading is for you. And we are looking at messages from your inner child. So I do want to start off by saying that your inner child is coming forth as a very adventurous energy. So you guys may really enjoy, or at least used to enjoy, whether or not you allow yourself to indulge in that still is going to be different for everybody. But I feel like your inner child really enjoys spontaneous adventure, really enjoys traveling, really enjoys exploring. And there's like a lot of curiosity energy coming forth here with your inner child energy for group number 1. And to start your reading, like the energy that I'm picking up on here, group number 1, has something to do with some sort of journey, some sort of almost rescue mission. So for some of you guys, this could be about like saving yourself. You may have had to move out of a certain environment or travel or move to a different home as a way to, as a form of self-preservation. This may have been something that you dealt with as a child, but what I really feel here is like your inner child is coming forth saying that you need to explore, you need to travel, you need to go on some sort of journey that may require you to let go of some things that you might be kind of holding on to out of this idea that it has like sentimental value. So there's something here where your inner child is saying you have attachments to your past that you need to cut ties with because it's holding you back. And or for some of you guys, it may be even kind of holding you down. I do feel like group number 1, you guys are going through, like with her on this ladder here, it's like you guys are going through some sort of ascension or rising up from the ashes, or some sort of ascension, you know, maybe even like an awakening or coming out of a dark night of the soul. And as you're climbing this ladder, you're going to have to let go of baggage, of dead weight, of things that are weighing you down. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some tarot for group number 1. Tuning into group number 1, what does group number 1's inner child want to communicate? We have the Black Shuck. This is the Death card. This is the transformation. This is the change. This is the need for release in order to ascend. the need to release of the physical baggage, or of the release of the old you, or your old ways, or the old sentimental things that you're holding on to. Wow. We also have starlight, healing, you guys. You guys are healing. Your inner child wants you to know that this change, this transformation, this release, this moving on or moving forward or moving up is going to be very healing for you, even though it may right now, at the time that you find yourself at this video, feel like it's breaking you. It may feel like a death, or it may feel like heartbreak for some of you. It may be very difficult to let go of certain things, or certain ways of being, or certain lifestyles, or certain environments. But I feel like what this is saying is like there's a brighter future for you. Wow. And then we have suspension. So we have 3 major arcana cards for you. This is the Hanged Man. This is that self-preservation energy that I feel like your inner child is really wanting you to become aware of. This self-preservation energy is kind of like a blockage for you. It's keeping you from moving forward out of fear of change, or fear of failure, or fear of letting go. Fear of, I feel a lot of you guys hold certain things very close to you, whether it's physical objects or memories, and there's like this fear of letting go of these things out of this idea that maybe if you let go of them, then it's going to be real, or then you're never going to be able to revisit this time in your life. Whatever this is that you're kind of perceiving as self-preservation is keeping you stagnant. So you are in a period of releasing, of needing to let go, needing to clear clutter emotionally, mentally, physically, energetically. Some of you guys, there may need to be some sort of like cord cutting, like an energetic cord cutting, or detachment from somebody else's energy. Okay. So we have strength coming out on top of the black shuck. That's very interesting because we have like this energy of this wolf here in 2 different ways. It's almost like this change has to do with learning how to embrace change, learning how to accept and embrace and tame change instead of running away from it. There is an energy of like confrontation here, like needing to face something. Let's take a look at suspension as well. We have the 10 of Spells. That heaviness, that burden, the weight, this self-preservation is what's holding you back. This idea that you are protecting yourself from harm when in reality you're keeping yourself in a position that is either draining you or holding you back or keeping you from your full potential. And this is work. I feel like you guys are going through a lot of soul work right now, group number 1, and your inner child really wants you to explore that, to adventure, to go outside of your comfort zone, to go on spontaneous trips, to do the things that you tell yourself you can't because you have responsibilities, or because you know something might go wrong, or you might need that money in the future, or however it is that you convince yourself to stay stagnant. There's a need to kind of break free from that, even, you know, by doing small things to start with until it becomes easier for you. Let's go ahead and pull you one final message, group number 1. One final message from your inner child. Any last guidance or advice that your inner child wants you to have at this time for group number 1, please? So this is the image here. And the message is timing. If you are in the creative flow, you feel everything flowing together in divine order. So really allowing yourself to do things instead of putting limitations on yourself, I feel is super important here. And not waiting, not telling yourself that you're going to wait until it's the right time, because I feel like that may be a way for you guys, group number 1, to put things off. You know, I'll do this when I have enough time. I'll do this when I have enough money. I'll do this when I have enough energy. And you're making yourself believe that you aren't able to do things that you're really meant to be doing. Okay, group number 1. So this is the message that I'm seeing. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here for you. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below. Let me know what you've thought of this reading. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so incredibly much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, my beautiful group number 2. Those of you that chose card number 2 with the clear quartz point here, this reading is for you. And we are looking at messages from your inner child. What does your inner child want to say? What does your inner child want you to know? There is some sort of message about transparency here with this clear quartz that I'm picking up on. And the card you guys chose here is the Queen of Swords. I do feel like group number 1, your inner child is coming through here as almost like the eldest child energy, very authoritative leadership energies, but like in this way where some of you guys may say or even have like this air about you of like not being able to be told what to do. Very almost rebellious energy. You guys may have been a very rebellious child. But there's something here where it's like something broke that spirit maybe, or maybe you grew up in a place where you were constantly told that you weren't good enough, or that what you were doing, I don't know, it's almost like this energy of criticism, but in a more harmful way, not so much constructive criticism. And it's like your inner child is wanting to come forth here with constructive criticism in a way that maybe you needed it when you were a child. And for some of you guys, this has to do with your inability to confront or face certain energies. I feel like group number 2, you guys may be my group of people who have spent a lot of time in fight or flight mode or in survival mode, and it's like when there's this threat, you tend to run away, and it's like maybe even kind of covered up with this rebellious energy, like I don't need this, you know, I don't need this shit, or I don't need your criticism, I don't need your judgment, I'll just leave, or you know, I'm gonna leave before I can get fired, or I'm gonna end this relationship before you can break up with me, or you know. And it's like you jump to this conclusion because, you know, maybe your partner got upset about something, and so you automatically maybe assume that they're going to leave you, so you leave first. But I feel like your inner child is coming forth really wanting to kind of confront that part of yourself so that you're able to become more independent in a more healthy way versus independent in a way where it's like, I don't need anybody, I don't want anybody or anything in my life. I can cut you off without a second thought. So it's like your inner child is really craving like true deep connection. But it's like every time you've ever been in a position where that was a potential or a possibility, you've maybe ran away from that. Whether that is in a project that you're doing, a creative endeavor, some sort of expression, or in a relationship, or in a place of employment, or in a job, that's going to come through a little bit differently. And for some of you guys, that's shown up in multiple areas of your life where you've kind of self-sabotaged by running away. Some of you guys here may also really resonate with twin flame energy and that runner-chaser energy. And this is about choosing yourself, but choosing yourself in a way that allows you to move forward and to grow instead of run away from other people's perception of you, potentially, for lack of a better statement. But let's get into your tarot, group number 2, and go a little deeper into this message that your inner child wants to give you today. Group number 2, please. We have the Two of Spells. Yeah, I do feel like for a lot of you guys, there's a lot of confusion, and a big part of that comes from this idea that everything needs to be black and white. There can't be messy emotions or unclear thoughts. And if there is for you, you maybe tend to cut it off or not deal with it. There's like some hesitation or like some refusal to work through that. You guys may be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. And with this Two of Spells, I'm also getting your inner child telling you to trust the signs that you're receiving instead of trying to turn them into what you want to hear or what you want to see. That may be kind of an energy that you're falling into. Convincing yourself that maybe that sign isn't meant for you because it isn't what you want it to be, or that a particular sign that you are seeing means something other than what you truly deeply know that it means. And if you're having a hard time discerning between those things, meditate on it, journal about it, speak about it to somebody. We also have the Forest Lord. This is justice energy. This is that balance. This is Libra energy, group number 2. Yeah, so there definitely could be some relationship energies coming through here. You may get to certain points in relationships or in projects and tend to fall short. Like there's this lack of follow through here that your inner child is really wanting to address. Your inner child is saying that things will work out if you can work through the difficult part, the uncomfortable conversations, the need to be vulnerable. Maybe something that you're really struggling with. It feels too vulnerable, too almost threatening to allow yourself to express maybe that something upset you, or to allow yourself to face the fact that maybe you've hurt somebody or somebody else, you know, emotionally, or hurt their feelings, or made a mistake in a relationship or in a project that impacted others. There's something here where it's like some sort of action that you've taken has impacted others, and there is a denial of accountability almost. And this may be an energy from your childhood that is being brought up as well for some of you guys. Especially if you were like the eldest child. Maybe for some of you guys, you were given too much responsibility too soon. Maybe you had to care for your other siblings or other people in your life, or even your parents in some fashion. And because of that, you feel like maybe you were robbed of your childhood, or you were robbed of your childhood. And now there's a refusal to take accountability or to take responsibility for certain things in your life out of this fact that when you were younger or during your childhood, you were forced to take responsibility for things you shouldn't have had to take responsibility for. And then we also have the Keeper of Visions coming out here. Yeah, so what I really see with that, and that did come out in reverse, is that you guys maybe have a hard time dealing with your emotions. You're very logically driven, very kind of air sign driven. And it's like any kind of turmoil emotionally causes you to react in a way that makes you have to start over again from nothing. You know, that's leaving your job, leaving a relationship, moving, very big reactions to very much smaller problems is what I'm seeing here, out of this kind of misunderstanding between your heart and your head, honestly. Group number 2. So your inner child is saying that there is a need to learn how to understand your own emotions instead of reacting or taking action from your big emotions before really thinking it through. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull you one final message, group number 2. Any last guidance or advice that your inner child wants to leave you with here today? Group number 2, please. Okay. Here is the image on your card. And we have intuition. Allow the limitless power of your unconscious mind to answer your problem by using symbols, memories, and hunches. And this is number 55. So the number 5 may be coming through as a sign for you. We talked about that a little bit already, like really learning to trust the signs and the messages that you're receiving instead of maybe trying to make them conform to the idea of what you want things to be already. So there is a need to become aware of that. Your inner child really wants to bring awareness to your intuition and your inability to trust yourself and potentially others, and really allowing yourself to accept the answers that you receive instead of being like, oh, well, that's not for me, or, you know, that doesn't resonate. There's a need to kind of explore those a little further before you dismiss them. Okay, group number 2, but this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful souls that chose this pile. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below, let me know if you chose this pile. Leave the scales emoji if you watched all the way to the end here, and consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so incredibly much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, my beautiful group number 3. Those of you that chose pile number 3 with this beautiful rainbow fluorite here, this reading is for you, and we are looking at messages from your inner child. And the card you guys chose here is the Queen of Cups. So I do feel like group number 3, you guys are my souls here who had a childhood that was full of maybe paranormal experiences, psychic experiences, and things you couldn't explain. And I do feel for a lot of the souls here that you either felt like you had to hide that part of yourself, or like nobody would believe you, or you were dismissed. This part of you was dismissed as just being a kid, or having a wild imagination, or, you know, watching too much TV. And it maybe caused you to really put a damper, or like really dim your light, really dim your gifts. So a lot of my group number 3s here, if you're looking for a way to tap into your spiritual and psychic gifts, a big part of them is connected to your inner child, and connecting to your inner child, doing the inner child work, and really allowing your inner child to be present within your workings and within your everyday life is really going to enhance your psychic abilities. Okay, interesting. So let's go ahead, group number 3, and get into your reading and see what your inner child wants you to know right now. What does your inner child want to say to you right now for group number 3, please? I really feel like group number 3, you guys are like my souls who sit in the back of the room very quietly and just observe. You guys are very good at reading the room. You're very good at reading energies. You're very good at reading emotions. You're very good at understanding what causes people to act and react in specific ways. And you're very good at predicting kind of the future or how certain scenarios will play out because of this. Okay, so let's go ahead. You guys have a lot of cards that want to come out here, but I do feel like these are our main messages, and then these are the clarifiers. So let's go ahead. Group number 3, we have the Ace of Challenges. Some of you guys may be connected to the goddess Branwen, the Celtic goddess or Welsh goddess Branwen. You don't have to be, but she is coming through here with this Ace of Challenges. And I'm also really feeling for a lot of you guys that there is a new, like a message coming through for you, or that is going to be revealed or delivered to you. It could be a letter, an email, a conversation that you have that's going to reveal some sort of truth that's going to be very activating, initiating, and awakening for you. Interesting. Some of you guys may have already experienced this conversation, this statement, this message, and that may be kind of a part of the driving force that led you to this reading. We also have the 8 of Spells, which talks about spiritual communication. You guys may be my mediums for some of you as well. There's definitely messages. There's definitely a lot of communication happening here for group number 3. And I feel like your inner child wants you to know that it's not all in your head. That may be something that you struggle with. That it's not something to be feared, which may be something that some of you guys struggle with as well. But there is a need to connect to your guides, to connect to these messages that are trying to come through. For some of you guys, if you really resonate with being that person that can sit in the back corner of a room and really read people, there's a need to know that like you're able to predict these things and see these things because of all of these guides that are with you all of the time. Interesting. Some of you guys may really struggle with doubting your gifts here. And that may be a big part of why your inner child wants to come out right now. Your inner child really wants you to learn how to trust yourself and to trust your gifts and to trust your intuition, to trust that what you're feeling is truth or what you're seeing is truth. You may be being called to begin traveling down some sort of road that puts you in alignment with doing spiritual work with other people, or doing tarot readings or energy readings or mediumship readings for other people. And there may be a lot of doubt surrounding that. We also have the 5 of Challenges. I really feel like imposter syndrome here. Like you guys feel like other people are going to think that you're a fraud, fear of judgment, and there's kind of like this shallowness coming to the surface here where it's like, well, I want people to like me. I want people to want to connect with me. So I'm going to cover up this part of myself that makes people judge me or fear me, or that makes people not understand me, or makes people think that I'm crazy, or makes people think that, you know, I'm a bad person, depending on your situation. Some of you guys may have like religious trauma or have grown up raised in a certain religion or in certain energies that caused you to feel like you were doing something bad. And so like there's this tension, this conflict within you regarding your gifts. Some of you guys may be experiencing some other people around you too that are like, well, then prove it. And there's a need to let that go. There's a need to let go of that need for other people to believe you. Okay, let's take a look at our clarifiers here for the Ace of Challenges. We have the 10 of Challenges coming out. Yeah, and with this coming out in reverse, that is exactly what I was just saying. Like, you don't need other people to tell you you're right, or to tell you that what you feel or what you see, or that like your gifts are real. You already know that, and there's a need to accept that as truth instead of waiting for somebody else to validate that. This coming out in reverse, it's like you've been continuously going through this cycle of needing validation, of needing somebody else to tell you that this is real or that you're right. And that cycle is ending, is what I'm seeing here. Your inner child wants you to know that there is, again, like this awakening to self, this awakening to truth. The 8 of Spells here, we have the Enchanter's Wheel. So however this is coming through for you, group number 3, your inner child is saying that following your intuition, following these messages that you're receiving, following your guides is going to lead you to a new chapter of life that is better than what you're currently dealing with. You know, and that's going to be better in different ways for different people. As this is a general reading, but this could be, you know, leading you to a better job, a better work-life play balance, a better emotional state or mental state. And then on the 5 of Challenges, we have the Ace of Boons. Yeah, so there's a need to invest into yourself instead of resist yourself, is what I'm saying here. A need to invest into your journey and your path that you feel called to, instead of fighting against it out of this need for other people to accept you, or out of this need for other people to believe you. And it's like, well, I can't go down this path unless I have a community, but you're not going to be able to build this community until you go down this path. So you have to like make that choice to step down this path, potentially alone for some of you guys. To take those steps without having the support, or without having people behind you motivating you or cheering you on. That may be something that your inner child work that needs to be kind of embraced here, as well as like this need for acceptance, this need for embrace, this need for support, this need for somebody to believe in you. That may be something that you lacked as a child, or some kind of wounding that occurred when you were a child that really caused you to place all of your trust or belief in yourself in other people's hands. And there's a need to kind of take that back, right, into your own hands, to believe in yourself, Okay, so group number 3, let's go ahead and pull one final message from your inner child. What is your inner child? Okay, there's 2. What does your inner child want you to know, want you to see, want you to leave this reading with? So our first one here, this is our image. And the message here is actualization. You will never achieve your full potential by virtue of your creativity and your honest pursuit of truth. You will achieve your full potential by virtue of your creativity and your honest pursuit of truth. And this is really like a great summarization of what we've been talking about. But I do also want to kind of touch that I feel like I said you will never achieve your full potential, and I feel like that has something to do with your mindset and your lack of belief in self. You automatically believe that you aren't capable, and so you see that you aren't capable, and that's something that your inner child really wanted to point out. And then our last card here is our image, and the message here is new start. Sometimes we must realize that what we have done needs to be discarded, and we must make a new start. Yes, you must take that step for yourself, probably by yourself for a lot of you guys, into this new journey, into this new life, potentially following your intuition, following your instincts, following your guides, following the messages that you're being sent. Even though maybe nobody's done it before, or maybe you don't have the support behind you to cheer you on, there's a need to take those steps anyways. Okay, group number 3. So this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful souls that chose this pile. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below, let me know what you thought of this. Let me know what other kinds of readings you guys would like to see. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so incredibly much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.